Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast, where today we are talking NWA Saturday Night on TBS from gotta get it out, Doc, October the 6th of 1990. This is Mike. I'm sitting here with Doc, no hard body Harper again. Not actually Shoot Job Blues. If you've been following him on Facebook, if you're on the Facebook, on his personal page, I think he's posting it there. Wildcat Business, and they're getting things together for hopefully some stuff in 2022, and we'll have to see how that goes. Doc, I don't know, I've got that all out the way, and we're going to be without the superstar again, who said he is sad he's going to miss it. How are you?
We are missing the superstar. I think they're going to get some stuff going in 2022. I have some optimism that we're going to have some stuff popping off and normalcy here coming up. Speaking of normalcy, I know everybody here loves it when I got the sniffles. I'm not sick or nothing, but you know, it was 80 degrees here in Texas yesterday, Mike.
Yeah, and now it's going to be about 30 tonight. We went from AC one day. I mean, it wasn't just 80. I thought it got up to 84.
It was 84 yesterday. And so now we are under a winter storm advisory for tomorrow. And the kids are probably going to be out of school because of all the freezing rain. And that along with the emergence of springtime will wreak havoc on a motherfucker's sinus cavities, if you will. So I'm feeling great, but you know, I'm maybe have a little in there if you know what I'm talking about. And I'm not doing a Buddy Landell impersonation. Hey, since Harper isn't here, how are you doing tonight?
Living the dream, brother.
That good, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's great. Living the dream. Hey, I'm not complaining about the weather, honestly, because it was beautiful. I'm not saying it was hot. 84 was wonderful. It was very, very nice, man. Sun was out.
Let's ask this important question. Did you turn on the AC?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too. Okay.
I mean, you get to a point you ain't got no choice. I mean, it gets so warm.
Right.
84 outside means it's 90 in your house if you don't turn that damn AC on.
But you know, I mean, you could get some it's February. What are you doing? You know, from your other half.
See, let me tell you what happened yesterday when that went down. They went and took a ride, and they were running some.
Oh, they were hot when they got back, I bet.
And no. I had clicked it on when they were gone, so there was no teeth sucking and all that. Now, at one point, probably an hour or two after she sat her butt down on the sofa and stopped moving around, the coolness started to kick in. She was like, "It's cool in here." I said, "Well, it was 84 outside earlier." So yes, I did turn the AC on.
As any rational person would do.
That's right. Was that hot? All right, Doc, you said you had some flips and dives. Let me do one thing before, not really flips and dives, but you had something for, as we jump into this week. We were, I want to mention real quick, we did have one new patron. This is his kayfabe name. I don't want to give out his real name that I think was in his email. So his name on Patreon is Space Bay. So not Tay-Tay, Space Bay. And he's a new BTT Hall of Fame patron. He signed up for the annual plan. So I want to tell him thanks and much appreciated. We record a week in advance, so you've probably seen this already, Space Bay, and you may have responded to my email to you. I did send you an email about your BTT Hall of Fame Pro Wrestling Tees gift card. So if you saw that and already responded, ignore what I just said, but wanted to thank you for becoming a patron. And then special shout out to our largest patron contributors monthly, Disrespectfully Classy, Marky Blassie, Mike Childry, and Joe Ice. Thank you for your generous patronage each and every month. And if you're not a patron, become one at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. That's tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. We're just a few weeks away from Halloween Havoc 1990, and that's going to be a good one. We've got the Steiners and Nasty Boys. That'll be fun covering. But, we've done a ton of other pay-per-views and Clash of the Champions to date. All of those are available on our Patreon feed at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Sign up, support this show. Doc, you were telling me earlier there's a certain podcast you were listening to, and it had about 30 minutes of ads throughout a 2-hour show, and you were really hot about it and just pissy and just hit swipe and deleted. You just got tired of it. This show doesn't do ads. The I mean, so the only people who support this show are the patrons. There's nobody spending hundreds and thousands on ads each week. So it is very much appreciated when you are a patron and support us. That way we can continue to give you this show ad free. Again, sign up tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Doc, I'll throw it to you to complain about ads, or if you want to do the 5-star reviews or the discussion you had first.
Wow, that's quite a menu of options that you've laid out there, pal.
You can cut a promo on ads if you want. I thought that was funny.
Look, we have turned down some ads. We're not going to sit here and say we're on the same league as some other folks. We're bigger than some podcasts that have ads. I know that for sure.
Yep.
So, but I understand the business model that says we got to have ads. We like our show the way it is, but I get why other people do what they do. Hey, it's a big world out there.
Fair. That's fair.
But I'm sitting there kind of working and thinking about something, and I look down and I'm like, how long has this ad been going on? And you run it back and it's a 5-minute ad. If you need 5 minutes to sell me whatever it is you're planning to sell me, then either you can't sell or the product's bad. I mean, good pussy don't need 5 minutes to sell itself, right?
I mean, good circle, doesn't need 5 minutes to sell itself. I'm sure that's what Harper would say if he were here.
Right. So all I'm saying is it's like the old Jericho show where he'd try to sneak in. Well, I want to find out more about that. But first, it's like, I don't like the gotcha aspect of it. I don't like that we're going to trick you so that you listen. I'm just going to hit the fast forward button. And if I cut into content, I'm going to keep blowing on. So, there it is. I mean, I listen to the podcast. So there you go. Hey, we did get a couple of 5-star reviews. And again, with football over, I don't know that anybody has any excuse to not have the free time now to use the Amazon link and write a 5-star review. What do you say?
I agree. The Amazon link, by the way, is tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. Please.
Can you stretch that out to 5 minutes, please?
No. Okay. Give it to you in 5 seconds. See? That's how it goes.
Well, we got one from a fella. Well, I shouldn't say that. It could be one of our sweet ladies out there. Hold on. I got to put on my readers. We're getting old socks, man. I can't see anymore.
Yeah, you got to put on his readers.
There we go. Amlan 74, AMLAN 74. Great show with 4 exclamation points. I like that. Great old school wrestling review podcast. Doc and HB add some great comedy along with a great knowledge of the sport, while Mike is the glue that holds it all together. Love the show and listen to it weekly. Thanks for your dedication to the business. Well, thank you for listening. Which business are we dedicated to? The podcasting business or the wrestling business?
Both.
Oh.
I mean, you think about it.
We're industry insiders.
Chris Zaha is going to love when you say that. Yeah, you can say that. We're industry insiders.
Inside the industry. Busting the guts.
Maybe we should just talk the business, right?
Well, that's a blast from the past. And also pretty dirty, too, if I might add. Nobody knows, but you just took a shot.
Keep going. Oh, man.
You got Diddy Ask 12. So DIDIASK 012. The filth never stops. Every dog needs a bone to chew on. BTT is that bone.
I love that one. That's awesome.
That's a good one. Good job.
Yeah.
I like that one too. We are almost to 400 ratings. We need a lot more than that.
That's pretty good for an independent podcast.
God almighty, it's good for any podcast. There's so many of them out there.
I mean, if you just think about it, like, if you think about the amount of reviews, a very small percentage of people leave reviews on podcasts. So the fact that you know, and you're only counting Apple. You don't even see the 31 reviews we have on Podcast Addict. So you can add 31 to however many are on Apple, and that puts us over 400. And I don't know what the percentage is, but I'd say it's probably only about maybe 20%, maybe 10% of your listeners who actually leave a review. So that's pretty. I mean, actually, I'm 20. It's not even 20%. It's less than that. Now that I think about it, yeah, it's less than that.
I've seen the numbers. It's a lot less than that. Come on.
That's true. Hey, I got one.
Toot your own horn over there.
So this is on Podcast Addict, and I cannot remember if this hit before we got off last week or not when we were done. It is from Phil M, and he is a new patron, and it says, finally got around to giving the show a chance about 4 or 5 months ago. Loved it enough, and the fact that there were no ads to become a Patreon member a few weeks ago. Well worth it. I love listening to Mike, Harper, and Doc. Silva is cool too. Talk about wrestling, 227, broads, and anything else that comes up. I love the 227 reference. My only want, and this is actually a good want, and my only want would have been if the three main could have had time to do the ECW run through themselves. Jesus! That would have been kind of amusing, because we would have loved some stuff, and then we'd have ripped some stuff to shreds on ECW.
There's a bunch of shit.
Especially that early shit.
There's a bunch of shit we would have put over. There's a bunch of shit we would have buried. And there's a bunch of shit that we would have said, this isn't as good as I remember it when I was 25 years old.
That's right. I've said that a bunch of times about that, especially if you watch that early stuff. That early stuff from them is god awful, most of it. It's like, what are we doing here?
But you can't argue how good some of that was, how legendary some of that was, how amazing some of it was. And that's like life, man. Not everything is all great. Not everything usually all sucks. That's just life.
Amen.
Speaking of life, I got a question for you. We somehow stumbled across the revisited a topic today that is an interesting one given the industry insider work that we do. And that is to follow up the idea that everything is a work, and then what that does to you as a person. So,
for you,
is everything a work?
Not everything, but there's another part to what we're going to talk about.
So, could you give an example of something that you think isn't a work?
Well, you got to pay bills, so that part of life is certainly not a work. Now, the businesses may be working you that you have services through, whether it be electricity or gas prices or things like that. You're getting worked, but the act of actually paying is a shoot. You're paying those bills. I like to joke and say, it's all the work, and you and I joke about the NFL and booking and all that. I don't think it's all actually a work. I question
you think it's
a lot
all
of
on the up and up.
I don't, and I question a lot of the stuff I see. The thing that we went down a discussion on with was that not necessarily that everything is a work. The problem is once you've invested so much time in pro wrestling, and then once you are involved in wrestling and you're an outlaw mud show guy like me, and then a podcasting extraordinaire, industry expert and podcasted expert like myself, Chris Zaha, you'll love that one too. The problem is, and just let me go on for a second. I told you this. When I first started wrestling many years ago, I had one main person explain to me and tell me the NFL is a work, college football on the upper levels is a work. It's all a work, brother. And like I told you earlier, I said, it starts off, you're in a phase of denial. You're like, no way. You can't take that from me. That's sports, The NBA, the NFL, it's not a work. MLB, no way, that's not a work. And then the old timers keep digging in on you, and you stay around the business for a little while, and you work some more outlaw mud shows, and you meet some more old timers. And then you find out that a legend like Skandar Akbar even thought it was a work, and he taught his people, yeah, it's all a work. They booked this guy, they booked this guy, they booked this team, they booked that team, they set it up all before the season. So then you start
so much so to the point that you and I had a conversation in some level of seriousness and some level of jest, and we never really get too upset about where we're at on that continuum. Are they going to put the strap on Burrow, or are they going to ride with this? We're going to try to make the town in LA. Is that correct?
Yes. And what happens on that, I was saying, the second phase of the process is then you start having doubt. Like you're in complete denial at first, and then you're like, wait, I don't know. Like, I'm starting to see too much funny business, and this doesn't quite line up, whether it's life or sports or, wars or, politics. I don't want to go down that route, but I'm just saying you start going, what the hell?
But if everything is a work, that's part of everything.
Yeah, so then you start questioning things.
And to be fair, that's some of the more important stuff in the world. So we're not going to talk about it, but it's there.
And then you get to the third phase, which is not that you think everything's a work, because I think people have misquoted us because we joke and say, it's all a work, brother. We like to have fun. It's a podcast. We're just sitting there bullshitting with each other and busting balls. But then you get to the third phase of, man, I don't think everything's a work, but I question everything I see and read and watch. Like, I don't believe anything. Now, it may be true, it may not be true, but I believe nothing. And you become what you and I call, it's like we're corrupted. We're not corrupt human beings, but our mindset of what we see, we refuse to believe anything we see on the surface, and we question every bit of it.
How many ribs have I pulled on you over the years?
I mean, you've tried to pull a lot, and I just
don't.
Like, no.
And see, that's part of what I'm talking about. Is like, you're like, I'll tell him something. He's like, you're ribbing me. No, I'm being serious. No, I don't believe you. Bruh, I'm being serious. When's the last time I ribbed you? I don't know, but
he gets mad. Real. He gets mad at me sometimes. Doc will get mad because he's like, dude, I'm not joking. I'm trying to be serious here. And I'm like, bruh, go talk to somebody else. Go do that with somebody else, somebody who ain't hip to the game. You ain't pulling one on me. Next.
And I'm not, and I'm legit trying to convey a piece of information across that's for real. But man,
it's corrupt. I'm corrupted by it. It's like, it messes with my mind. Everything does. It's sad. It really is. But I can admit to it. Like, I have this self-realization of this nonsense over the years has corrupted me. It's like corrupted my mind. I don't believe anything I see anymore.
So is there a fourth stage to this?
I think the fourth stage is actually something I don't think I'll ever get to. I think the fourth stage is you actually do believe everything's a work and you are completely gone mentally as a person. I think it can take over your life and you really can become crazy. I think as long as you stop at just doubting things, you're okay. But the minute you really truly believe everything's a work, you're past like normal human being, and you need to go to rehab because.
Okay, so that's true. I mean, you start to put tinfoil on your head, and
that's right. Right, and we know people like that, and that's where it gets like, okay, dude, you're off. You're something's wrong with you.
Okay, so the last piece of this, though, and I know this is something that your old timers used to tell you in trying to teach you, get you out of stage 0 to stage 1, 2, and 3. What part does money play in all of this?
Oh, so that's the selling point of it all. It's like if money's involved, it's a work. That's what they always say, or some phrase similar to that. Like if there's money involved, it's a work. The more money involved, the more of a work.
That's an important concept because I think we touch on this a lot in a joking fashion about football. It's not that Roger Goodell necessarily always wants the Patriots to win.
Right.
It's the money. It's the betting line.
I just have trouble believing, we talked about it a million times. I don't think he booked the Patriots to beat the Falcons in that Super Bowl, but there was way too many shenanigans that led to 28-3 evaporating.
You'll never convince me that the first drive where they called all those pass interferences was on the up and up.
That's what I'm saying.
And it wasn't to change the outcome. It was to get it closer so people didn't tune out and they miss all that ad revenue.
That's yes. So I think
money's
people
involved,
that.
So it becomes a work, but not like most people think it's a work.
Yeah. And again, some people look at me and go, "Oh, that's tinfoil hat." I got friends who
remember when we told my boss that.
Oh man, he looked at us like he kind of chuckled, like, "Are you two?" And we didn't tie it into wrestling. But I know, it really would have messed me up. But the fact that you were agreeing with me, he couldn't really look at me like I was crazy, but he was looking at us like we were crazy.
I'm kind of surprised that we didn't get drug tested that day.
He remember the face. Booker Man was like, I wish I had the camera on.
We were ribbing him. He was like, "Are y'all serious?
Yeah, well,
come on." And then he was like, we weren't laughing. He was like, "Oh, come on, you guys don't believe that, do you?"
Right.
Because once you believe something like that's a work, and you're willing to open your eyes, it opens you up to a whole lot of other things that are a work.
Yes, and that's the.
And shit, if they can work that, why couldn't they work this?
But you and I know people who, one person in particular I'm thinking of who, I think he's gone. I think he's one of the people who are gone. Just he's out there when it comes to everything's a work. And I mean, I'll tell you offline if you don't if you don't know who I'm talking about, but he's gone. Not a bad person, but just gone because you can't convince him otherwise. Now, for me, I stop at where I just doubt what I see. It's not that I don't believe it. I don't even say doubt. I question everything I see. It's not that I don't think what I'm seeing is real or listening to is real or watching is real. I just have an instinct in me that goes, wait, hold on a second.
And it's a little bit different than critical thinking, because critical thinking is a good skill to have. You shouldn't believe everything you hear or read, right? This is a step beyond that to look for the angle. I want to know how the magician's pulling off this trick.
Yeah, that's it. That's it too. You question it and go, okay, what's this person's angle? And I hate to say it corrupts you.
And you're dealing with an unsuspecting public that doesn't want to believe that the world is set up that way. It hurts people's feelings, man.
I remember it does. It hurts your feelings. In the way I tied this up was, so I was telling Doc and I were reminiscing about the first time that I started talking to him about football potentially being a work. Again, I'm not saying it's a work, but potentially being a work. And I remember distinctly him sitting in my office looking at me like, "Are you freaking stupid?" Like he's giving me this look. And then, as the months and years go by, he starts seeing things that make him question and go, "Wait, hold on. Was that really on the up and up?"
And here's what it's like. It's like looking at it's like some of those Rorschach pictures. And if you just flip it 10 degrees, you go like, "Oh shit, I see it now." You couldn't see the butterfly when you had it this way, but when you tilt that just ever so slightly, it's like, "Oh shit, this thing is clear now."
I'm telling you.
And the other part about it is, I am in no way a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe it. I wish Bigfoot was real. That'd be awesome, man. I'd be like, dude, that's a fucking awesome. Bigfoot's real. But I don't believe it. The Earth's not flat. And why? Because we said this before. There ain't no money in the Earth being flat. That's why it's not a work. There ain't no money in it. If the Earth was flat, we'd have charters out to the end of the Earth where you could get on a boat and somebody could make some money off this shit.
That's so true.
I don't believe I don't believe that we're alone in the universe. But I don't believe that we're lizard people or whatever, or whatever. So it's not that you believe it's not that I believe anything's possible. It's what's the angle? Where's the money in this? Who benefits? Who profits?
That's it. Follow the money, man.
Follow the money. Does it have money in it? Yeah. Then it's a work.
Brother, if money involved, it's a work. You know how many times I heard that at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. on the highway coming back from a show?
All the time.
Brother, let me tell you how they booked this one. Okay.
Well, everybody knows it was that Joe Montana was throwing that ball away and Dwight Clark snatched it out of the air. So
that's right. Yep. Okay. Doc, anything else? Because we do need to get to some wrestling.
The last thing is, before we segue into the wrestling portion of the show, is, and everybody knows this, it's a work when it happens to everybody else in football, but it's a shoot when it happens to you.
I agree with that mostly, except for the no call, the pass interference no call in that NFC Championship game. I agree. It's a work and it's a shoot unless it happens to you. But that was 100% work. You'll never convince me otherwise. I know people think I'm crazy, but it is what it is. But whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Speaking of being crazy, let's talk about some wrestling like it's real.
Yeah, we're talking this week, October 6, 1990. Once again, according to the good people at the history of WWE.com, this show was taped on September the 24th of 90. We're at the Cobb County Civic Center, and according to the research I did, there are 350 people who are in attendance. A few other additional notes, according to the history of WWE.com, is that Sting wasn't here because he was taping a toy commercial. I could not find the toy commercial that he was taping. Maybe it was those action figures that came out during this era. I'm not really sure, but Sting was not here, and because we're going to start seeing the toy commercials for the action figures. I forget who made them for WCW. We'll start seeing those, I think, towards the end of 90. So maybe that's what he was taping, but who knows? And then I don't know if this is true. I didn't research it, but they claim Lex Luger during the show is not here because he's doing community outreach. And I was like, wow, it sounds like something Doc does. But apparently the shoot story was Luger wasn't here because his wife was expecting a child. Now, that's not according to me. That's according to the history of WWE.com, which a lot of times I do find that their references are pretty damn accurate. So I wanted to mention that. So there's that.
That baby was a work. That was a work baby.
Work baby. So like Doc said, there's a crazy man as the show opens up. It's a promo, and Stan Hansen is talking about Luger.
Hey, real quick. It says here that his daughter was born September 24th, 1990.
Well, there you go. I didn't look it up beforehand. So now, is that on Wikipedia?
Yeah.
So do we believe that? See, there you go. That goes along with our
there
discussion.
You go, man. I mean, there's two references, or one reference on it, but I mean, were they paid to make that reference? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, we don't really know anything.
We'll go with it being a shoot then.
That young lady now is 31 years old.
Yep.
Jesus, it's getting away from us, man.
It done got away. Stan Hansen is talking about Luger during the promo. He's going to kick Luger's ass. We then head to the formal opening with JR and Bob Caudle, who tell us what we'll see today, including the Nasty Boys versus the Southern Boys. And then our BTT Hall of Fame patron out there, our friend Chris Zaha, is going to love the sponsor they show as they go to the first match because it is TurboGrafx 16, and my man Zaha was a video game nerd back in the day. Heck, he still is one, but I say that lovingly. I hope Travis Reigns liked that reference about his buddy Tubby, Chris Zaha. But anyway, Doc, we'll keep moving because the first match, boy, these are two guys that are familiar from Texas. The Renegade Warriors, Chris and Mark Youngblood versus the Ring Lords. Woof! Very stereotypical for the Native American, indigenous people during this era. And they also cut a picture-in-picture promo.
Push pause. I
want to play this promo that they...
I know, but before that, I want to show you. I want to do something. Because, you need to play that promo.
Okay, go. What you got?
At 2:08, I just want you to play the audio and tell me how quiet this arena is.
Now, remember, there's only 350 people in there.
Well, there's 350 of them that ain't saying shit.
Okay. So we're almost there. We're at the 2 minute mark.
I was shocked.
And all right, here I'll turn up the audio now. I'm at 2:06, so we're a couple seconds before it. All right. Here you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be the Renegade Warriors taking on the Ring Lords here on World Championship Wrestling. Just before we went on the air, the Renegade Warriors.
Okay, it is quiet. I mean, it's quiet. Very quiet. But I mean, I know who Chris and Mark Youngblood were before I would have seen this, but
they were in Dallas.
Yeah. So are you thinking like it's not just them? It's just, four guys are not all too familiar with wrestling each other, and that's why they're so quiet?
I don't know about that. I thought about that too, and I don't know.
Remember, there's only 350 people in here.
We have two Hispanic fellas out there playing Native American.
I mean, it's wrestling. Look, they made a white man a black man with Akeem. So, I mean.
Tijo Khan, bro.
But Tijo Khan was Filipino. What was he? Was he.
Blue-eyed Singapore.
Yeah, blue-eyed guy from Singapore, right? I mean, I guess anything's possible. It's wrestling. Let's listen to this stereotypical promo from the Renegade Warriors.
Had the opportunity to make some comments. Let's hear now from this exciting young new team.
Freebirds, you heard a friend of ours, Iron Eagle, and we're issuing a challenge to you because we're coming straight up the reservation, and I guarantee we're on the warpath, and we're challenging you.
Bruh. They said we just came straight off the reservation. Woo! And I just was like, God damn, things were different.
That's a lot of mess in a short amount of time.
Hey, look, let's say it again. We repeat this a lot. This is a different era. It's just, it hits your ears a little different when you're in 1990. And I'm not trying to say I'm offended. I'm just like, boy, times really have changed.
You ever been on a reservation?
I have. I actually wrestled on one.
Was it the nicest place you've ever been?
It wasn't horrible. It was very different because, like, I remember the promoter, he was like, look, you're in a nation. He's like,
that's sovereign ground, pal.
Don't do anything stupid here, basically, because you're in America, but you're really not.
Right.
And it wasn't like we were at like a rec center, civic center. I shouldn't say civic center because that wouldn't be a little small rec center. I mean, could if you put the fans in there, you probably could have fit about 750, 800 people in that building. So, but yeah, I've been on one. It was very much different. It was really, I mean, it was kind of a cool experience, to be honest with you, but I have been on one.
Okay.
I guess you've been on one too. Well, you lived in Oklahoma at a time, so I'm sure
the whole state is one.
Wow. Not really, but okay.
Quite a bit.
Doc has told me stories about someone he used to work with that was, God, I don't want to get anything wrong here. Maybe I shouldn't go there.
Okay.
I don't want to get the story wrong. That's why I'm like, maybe I shouldn't go there. But the Renegade Warriors out here, they're going to get the win over the Ring Lords, and I don't really have much from it.
This was not a very good match. It felt like a mid-'80s territory match and not like a 1990 TV match.
That's exactly what it was. It was like, this is nothing against Chris and Mark Youngblood. It was like watching Global or something out of USWA. I mean,
right.
No other way to put it.
Yeah.
I wrestled one of these guys one time, and I can't remember if it was Mark or Chris.
Did they beat you?
Long time ago. I was tagging with the, I won't say his name because I get told I say his name too much on this show. So I was tagging with, it's not going to work, everything's a work, brother. And against, it was him and I against, God, I don't remember the other guy's name. It wasn't both of the young bloods, though. They kill me when they do the indigenous people dance. I mean, it's just so terrible. Anyway, I don't even remember. I don't know who won or lost. I don't
It doesn't matter because it's a work.
All the work, brother. Okay. Any other thoughts on these two? It was not the best match. It was, yeah. Well, now we need to go to Michael Hayes, and it's a very quick promo.
No. But yeah, we'll get that in a minute. But so one thing that was confusing to me was I read on their Wikipedia page, and well, you know how that's real. They've been in the territory for 6 months.
The Youngbloods?
Yeah, they said that they came in like April.
I don't recall that, but hold on. So I am, one thing I love about the history of WWE.com, you can look at it. And so this was technically their debut. They did wrestle April 2nd of 1990 at the Georgia Mountain Center, Gainesville. It was a television taping. I don't remember them being on Saturday night, though. So it was a pro taping. It was NWA pro taping that they were at, but I don't believe their match aired. And actually, you'll find this interesting. They wrestled the Midnight Express in one match. And then they wrestled Rick Fargo and Galaxian number 1. If you remember, he was there as well at one point. That was their only showing up until now on this card. So technically that's not wrong, but it's not telling the whole truth. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. All right. Now, I got some thoughts about Michael Hayes in this quick 30-second promo.
Yeah.
Let's go to that now after the Young Bloods win. The Renegade Warriors, I'm sorry.
You know, they say tomorrow never comes, but tomorrow will come. Not soon enough for us, but probably plenty too soon for Mr. Iron Eagle and Flying Brian. It'll be here on TBS Live at 6:05. And for the Renegade Warriors, that be when sun go down behind tree. Catch my drift. And now, out of the compassion of our heart for all of you that never get to leave your home, well, come travel with us. See how stars live in Hollywood. Come travel with the birds.
Okay, I'm going to get to that in a second, traveling with the birds. But Michael Hayes is a buffoon. And that's the way I can describe.
What did I say a couple of weeks ago? Wrestling in real life. Not good.
Oh, yeah.
In wrestling,
wow, man,
it's awesome.
He does the woo 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 thing, and then he mocks the way they talk. It's key to point out he's a heel, and this is his way of getting heat in 1990.
I guess.
Now, what made it worse is it looks like he's been in a tanning bed with goggles on.
Ugh.
But I think that's just paint, or
yeah.
Fuck, that idiot Jaworski's cranking to this right now. He's watching the video
would he do that?
Dude, let me tell you, he cranking and he was aiming for the eyes because it was a target.
Man, just because Harper's here doesn't mean we can't be classy.
Man, this is so bad. Any other thoughts on Hayes' racist promo here towards the indigenous people?
This was absolutely the best part of this. The video was kind of goofy.
The video's goofy, but I feel like I gotta play it just because it's so absurd. The Freebirds are touring Hollywood as they stand in front of a tour van in a Holiday Inn. Boy, nothing screams luxury like Holiday Inn. I'm gonna hit play because we don't have a ton of promos to play from this episode, but I'm gonna hit play now. And if you are on the video version, maybe you'll get a kick out of this. Here it is.
Well, you know, when the birds do Hollywood, the birds do Hollywood. And like I've been promising you,
What's this?
This is Starline Tours.
Yeah, but why are we doing?
Tour of the Stars' homes.
I thought you were taking me to see our home.
We are going to go see our home. We're going to see our home. We're going to see everybody's home that's anybody. And I'll tell you what, the Freebird Mansion, you're going to love it. And I was just thinking, Michael, since I'm such a nice guy. and
Sometimes too nice.
Well, true, but we promised the people we were going to show them
You
Hollywood.
promised them. I didn't promise you
Well,
nothing.
ladies and gentlemen, I promised you Hollywood, and Hollywood you're going to get. Buckle your seatbelts and let's go, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you think that was something, hold on to your hats. Now the best part of the Starline Tours, the biggest stars' homes. Up here to your right, everybody look to the right, that's the home of Miss Roseanne Barr.
Look how big it is. It's way big.
Very big. The house is big.
Now everybody look over here to the left. You have to look through the gates and up the hill. That's the home of superstar Eddie Murphy.
Whoa, incredible. Wow. Pink house.
And now, here on your right, the home of Mr. Homer Simpson.
He's above the law.
And the Simpsons. And right there before your eyes, what you've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest rock and roll band of all time. The fabulous Freebirds.
We're supposed to believe that's the Freebirds' home in Hollywood.
Well, the Simpsons live in Springfield, dude, not Hollywood. And the people that we see in this van look like they're straight off the Whitesnake video shoot.
That's got to be TBS employees.
Dude, who would hire those burnouts?
Come on, man. Seriously?
Yeah. They look like
Nah.
the band that opened for the Freebirds last night down at the Whiskey.
Come on, bro. All right. You're just being mean, but okay.
I wish Harper was here because he could break those three people down. Oh,
Well,
my,
would he?
Elvira.
Yeah, they show Elvira a lot because she's plugging Halloween Havoc.
Mm.
Any other thoughts on the Freebird quote-unquote tour? I mean,
That wasn't very good.
yeah, it was okay.
All right.
I mean,
Loved it.
no, it wasn't bad. Like, you know, no. It wasn't bad. It just was just okay. Like, there's no other way to really say it.
Okay.
But, you know, we keep going and we go to the next segment, which is the wrestling wrap up. Remember, you can always watch us. You can always watch what we're watching if you become a patron at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. And what they show here as we're watching it is Gordon Soley. We see a replay of last week with Sting and the Black Scorpion and what went down. And then after all of that, we're going to actually hear an interview with the Black Scorpion. And I need to play this, Doc, for the stupidity of it. I really do. Because this is bad and we need to rip on it. So, it's so bad. Let's just give it just have your promo ready to cut it because I'm going to go right to you when it ends. So, here it is.
Obvious to me that Brian Pillman might have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew because now the Scorpion's got to have him on his mind as well. And now, as I promised you earlier, let's go to the most bizarre interview I have ever conducted. Talk about being in the dark. I was.
Bring Gordon in, please. Gordon, I've hoped that you found your trip to your liking.
Well, I frankly got to say this is the most demeaning thing I've ever gone through. Why all the secrecy?
You don't have to say anything. I brought you here to deliver a message. But I will grant you some time in which you may ask me some questions.
Well, first of all, why the blindfold?
To keep my identity a secret. You're the only person other than Sting who has been this close to the Black Scorpion.
Well, all right, the question is, and of course it's on everybody's mind, you've made these comments, but you've never said what the real reason behind your wishing to get at Sting.
I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell anybody. The idea is for Sting to think. I want Sting to be driven mad. I want Sting to look back on his life. Remember, Gordon, Sting and I, at one time, knew each other very well, I might add.
Well, that was in California, if I remember correctly, that you made the statement.
Well, I said California, but ask Sting this. Ask Sting about Tulsa.
Tulsa?
Yes, Tulsa, Gordon. See what he says. Look at his reaction. Maybe he'll remember something.
Well, very frankly, if you don't mind, Scorpion,
I do mind.
Well,
I think our interview is almost over.
Yeah, say what you have to say and let me go, please.
Well, Gordon, consider yourself lucky. You will be able to leave the clutches of the Black Scorpion. Sting won't be quite so lucky. Remember, Sting, while Sid is after your belt, I'm after your soul.
Well, as I said, certainly you have a very bizarre situation involving the Black Scorpion, and as I said, too, he'll have his eye on Brian Pillman as well. But there are lots of things coming up. Halloween Havoc, exclusive pay-per-view, October 27th. A lot of questions will be answered. We'll be back after we take this time out.
Bruh. I had to play it for how stupid it was.
I want to go back to 1990. Actually, 1988 or 89. Tell myself to watch this. Then come back here, and then go back to 1990 and punch myself for not realizing that was Ole. That's Ole. I bet you, with this long in the wrestling business, that was not the most demeaning thing Gordon Soley's ever done.
It's so dumb with the blindfold on.
Chat in my shoe in Tampa.
It's got the blindfold on. They took him to his lair. It's just...
This looks like some shit I would have tried to do in a high school drama class that I ended up in as an elective, didn't want to be there, and just tried to get the best grade I could with minimal effort.
Do you remember...
That's a sheet, pretty much, with a light behind it.
Yes. Do you remember the television show Land of the Lost? Not the movie. Of course,
the Slee Stacks.
Okay, we've talked about this before.
That's what the women, the broads of BTT ought to call themselves.
So I just Googled it because I couldn't remember the years. That shit was on television from 74 to 76, and then they replayed them in the 80s, and that's when I remember seeing them.
Yeah.
Like on Saturday mornings, right? Okay. The quality of this stupidity right here with Gordon and Black Scorpion is worse than Land of the Lost, which aired 15 to 16 years earlier than this.
Right.
It's horrendous. It's dumb.
Bush League, dude.
It's in... Like, here's the thing, like, some of the stuff I laugh at, but this part is just like, I can't laugh, man. Gordon's got the blindfold on. It's just hokey stupidity, man. It's just like, what the piss are we doing?
Man, and Gordon's like, this reminds me of that Thursday in Sarasota where Sherry Martell used to put cigarettes out on my bare chest.
The land of the Lord. Oh, God, I can't, man.
The brother Will and the dad and the little Holly.
Dude, I used to, man, I ain't gonna lie. I watched the piss out of Land of the Lost.
I bet you were like, man, these little white kids are stupid, man.
Well, I mean, yeah, that kind of flew through my mind, but you know, I was always into that sci-fi stuff when I was young. Hell, I still am a little bit. Not that much though.
Because it's a word.
So stupid, man. So stupid. All right. Any other thoughts, Doc, before I keep going? I had to play it because it was so dumb, and now here I am working myself into a shoot over it.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. It's terrible. And it's not going to get better. And so there you are.
So true. Okay, we get a series of... You got no money
and you got no car, so you got no woman, and there you are.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Things are the way they are for a reason.
We go to a series of commercials, and then we come back with the Juicer versus Barry Horowitz. This is dumb. The Juicer rips off the rag off his head again, and the baby powder goes flying everywhere. He's got the Juiceaholics, or whatever the hell they call it, following him to the ring. He's actually got, I don't know, it looked like some maybe teenagers, too, following him. I don't know what the deal is here. This is stupid. There's a mess up at the 20-minute mark. I'm going to go to that in a second, but I want to throw to you and see if you got anything before I get us to the 20-minute mark.
So if we're going to get him over and market him, why is he wearing a Bart Simpson shirt? Let's make him in a juicer shirt.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's so damn stupid. Bro,
and you
they
can tell
do not.
He's doing some innovative offense throughout the match. Yeah, I saw the mess up, but Horowitz and him cover it up.
It's just a dumb gimmick. Like, you said it before. Why don't we actually put on something, put him in a gimmick that we can do something with?
At first, I thought that was Denny Brown at first.
I mean, it kind of looks like him if you don't look it up. That dude. Remember how high he was on television? Thank you for interviewing Mr. Schiavone. So the mess up, just for like
you think all that baby powder would make your hands not slippery.
Nah, baby powder actually would make you slippery. You need the you need like the weightlifting chalk. I mean, not the weightlifting. You need the what is it? Anyway, the juicer goes up to the top and he goes to hit that like springboard move off the top where Horowitz is holding him and Horowitz should go with him when he flips over, and Horowitz just fucking lets go.
Whoops.
Whoops. Anyway, I got nothing else, man. Barry Horowitz, God bless him. He puts Art Barr over, aka the Juicer, and that was that. Any other thoughts on this nonsense, Doc?
No.
Bad. It's so, the gimmick's dumb. What are we doing, boy? Harper hasn't seen the Juicer yet. So when he finally gets back and sees this nonsense, he's going to be like, what is this shit?
You gotta hear this in Harper. Jesus Christ, what is this shit?
And then he'd repeat, bro, I'm not watching this shit no more.
I mean, is it any wonder we're not making money here?
Yeah, bro. So we keep moving. We get a meat and potatoes promo from Stan Hansen. He wants Luger, but he doesn't have much tobacco running from his mouth, so it's kind of just, like I said, meat and potatoes, nothing much to it. And then we go to a match with our man J.W. Storm versus a gentleman by the name of Scott Allen. Doc, what do you have from this one? If anything.
I got an idea. Let's turn... Oh, no, this one is J.W. Storm, right?
Yes, this is J.W. Storm versus Scott Allen.
Nothing. Didn't he keep trying to do his finisher or something? I don't know.
Yeah, he finally hits it. It's the deal where he's like, it's hard to explain to somebody. Yeah, it's like a running choke slam. He shoots the guy off and he hits him with, like, he grabs him by the throat and then they go up as he's hitting it and they go down.
Okay.
It's nothing special.
Nope.
What can we say here, right? So then from there, let me get to it. We get to Jim Ross and Bob Caudle are going to throw us to the official signing of Sid versus Sting. And Tony Schiavone was hosting the signing segment. They sign, and then after they sign, and I'm going to go to this because I want to see this portion of it and I want to talk to you about it. Sid and Sting sign for their next match, and then we were thrown to a match with Sting versus a man with a black mask and black tights. And it's supposed to be the Black Scorpion, obviously. Now, the official results mention that it's Sting versus the Black Scorpion from the UIC Pavilion. And the results say that the Black Scorpion we're about to see here is Al Perez. It ain't Al Perez. I'm telling you it's not. It doesn't look like Al Perez. If I was a betting man, I'd say it's Wild Bill Irwin because, again, Wild Bill said, yeah, I did the Black Scorpion on the house shows. So I'm going to go to it in a second. But, Doc, any thoughts on who Sting is wrestling here as we go to it now? That ain't Al Perez. Would you agree?
No, it's not Al Perez.
Not even close.
No.
So, do you think it's Wild Bill? I know it's hard to tell.
Could be.
Now, again, if you're a patron, you can watch this with us. We're on a single camera shot from the floor. We're not seeing it real good. It's just a shot from the floor. And I 100% think that that's Wild Bill.
Okay. I'm not going to say that. I mean, it's as good a guess as any.
So they're wrestling, and Sid runs out and hits Sting with a chair. And, yeah, that's it. There's a DQ, so Sting's going to win. And then after that, they throw to a Sid promo where Sid says he will be the next world champion. It's like
I got a question for this right here. In 1990, how comfortable would you be letting softball Sid pile drive you on a chair?
How long has Sid been wrestling at that point?
I don't know.
That's my question. Because I don't know how I'm feeling about Sid. And I was like looking at that and was even going to ask you, like, what did you think about the way Sting took it? Because he just was kind of nonchalant with it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think either man understood the seriousness of what they were doing.
Yeah. So according to Wikipedia, that's what I thought. It says Sid started in 87. So he's not really been around wrestling long at this point. But the pile driver, like if you watch it, man, Sting's arms are flailing as he goes up for it, and they're on a chair. Like, I don't know what the hell Sting was doing. Now, Sid did protect him. He just goes to straight.
I didn't say it was dangerous. I said, how comfortable would you be up there with him?
I would assume Sting trusted him, but I know why you're saying that.
Yeah.
So Sting, Sid. What about Sid's promo? Did you have anything from it?
No.
All right. Show keeps moving. It was meat and potatoes. He talks about being the next world champion. Now, here we got Robert Gibson. You asked last week if his knee was injured.
And Caudle really works it here.
What do you mean? Tell the people what you're talking about.
Well, it's getting worse because he's really favoring it now.
Right. That's what I was saying. And I mean, that's why I said that last month.
Caudle says that they play hurt and he has a sprained ankle and something else.
And give Gibson credit because he's going to continue trying to work on this leg. And now we know, we didn't know this at the time, but now we know, he wasn't too good off. He really needed time off, and he ends up taking the time off. But Gibson's not good here, and they're taking on Bill Ford and Jeff Stone. I still don't like Bill Ford with the singlet on. And I don't know what the hell is going on with his head, but that's another story.
Come on.
He's got the mullet, but the back of the mullet is like fluffed. It's like a big curl back there. I don't know. But Gibson, he's favoring the knee, man. You can see that right leg is not 100%, and you can see it. So what else you got from this? As you can tell, Gibson's limping around.
Not a lot.
Yeah, Morton's going to end up rolling up Stone for the win, the rock and roll win.
They can't do the double drop kick, I guess.
I was about to say that. That's like a telltale sign that he ain't good.
When's the last time you ain't seen the rock and roll double drop kick a couple of jab rounds?
Right. They probably did it like, escaping a match, winning a match versus a title contender because they couldn't quite hit it. Morton, I can see him rolling somebody up in an example like that, but yeah, it doesn't happen, man. It's not something that happened. So we'll keep moving. The next match, we did have a series of commercials. One of those commercials, Doc, I didn't note which one it was, but there was a Burger King breakfast commercial for the old cinnamon sticks and.
I used to eat the shit out of those when I worked the morning shift.
They were the French toast stick, dude.
Yeah,
they were so good.
I'd go through like 10 of those syrups, man.
Bruh, them things were so damn good back in the day.
Why not?
Woo! So good. All right, so Stan Hansen, he's taking on Pablo Crenshaw. That Pablo is one of our guys from the old
85?
studio days. Maybe he did a few more, 87, 88. He was around a little bit. Not weekly, don't get me wrong, but old Pablo, we haven't seen Pablo Crenshaw in a long time, and he's wrestling Stan Hansen and taking a beating. Poor Pablo Crenshaw. This is white on black crime, man. That's all I got from this one, dude. This is Stan Hansen wrong for this shit.
Hey, I know what we should do.
Uh-oh.
Let's show Stan Hansen's funny side.
Why do you say that?
Let's make him comedy.
Why do you say that?
Because that's what Jim Herd tried to do.
Oh. Hansen wins with the lariat. 1, 2, 3. And we're out. And he leaves the ring. He's like, I ain't here for this shit.
I got to get to the back and chew some more tobacco.
That's right. All right. So then from there, we get a rundown of the top 10 presented by Tony Schiavone. I know why. I know why you
Number
just breathe
8.
heavy. Go ahead and tell the people who number 8 is.
So it's Mike Rotunda and Tim Horner, just like it was at the Clash. But the last time we saw the tag teams, those two weren't together.
I don't get it. I don't
and
get
shit
it.
like that flies all over. How'd they get in the top 10 if they ain't teaming together?
Look, I said it, Doc. With tag teams, you don't even need to do a top 10. Do a top 5. Because it takes 2 guys to make a tag team. So that means if you do a top 5, 1 through 5, you got 10 people. And then your champion, who's not really ranked because they're the champion, right? I don't get why you got to have 10 teams. And I understand you got a U.S. and NWA title. It's dumb. And why the piss, as much as I hate Z-Man, why are they lower than Rotunda and Horner, who aren't even a tag team? Look, there's no logic in it. But I beat that horse to death already.
Man,
I don't want to sound like the modern wrestling fans.
This shit like it's real.
For real. And Doom is the current NWA World Tag Team Champions, by the way. So then they show the top 10 singles. Do you have any concerns with the top 10 singles as they lay it out?
Well, the Junkyard Dog at 8, he might ought to be 8 and 9. Just, to make enough space for him.
I thought you'd say he should be 11 and 12.
Well,
which isn't even on it because it's a top 10.
No, not really. I mean, that looks okay to me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Sting's the champion and Luger's the U.S. champ, and then you got Sid and Stan Hansen and Ric Flair, Arn, Flying Brian, Terry Taylor, Dog, Buddy Landell, Barry Windham. Dog should not be number 8. Dog should not be ranked. Barry certainly should be above Dog and Buddy. Hell, Barry should be above Terry Taylor. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. It's fine. Whatever. Thankfully, Z-Man ain't in the top 10. I really would have blew a gasket then.
Yeah, he'll get his in the end.
All right, we keep going. Brian Pillman takes on Tony Burton. That was so dirty what you just said. Hansen interrupts JR and Bob Caudle on commentary. He's yelling and screaming and looking for Luger, but as JR said earlier, Luger isn't here because he's doing some community outreach on his day off and isn't scheduled to be here, but we know Luger was at his actual kids, his wife was giving birth. Anyway, Doc, any thoughts on the commentary or Pillman versus Burton?
Well, that's smart because that way, if anybody says, I saw him at the hospital, you could be like, yeah, he was visiting the kids.
Very good, astute analysis. That's so true. I didn't think about it, but hey, look, we joke about when things aren't airtight. We go, everything was airtight, brother.
That was airtight?
No, that was airtight, brother. Give him credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That fucker was John Cena before John Cena.
All right. Any other thoughts on Pillman and Burton?
No. They were going so overboard with Luger that I thought Luger was about to run out.
Yeah, I did too at some point, but I understood why, and it's fine. This crowd is quiet, and I mean, even for Pillman, they're not like super loud, which kind of just tells you, I mean, they come up a little bit, but you see a few fans standing, but it's just, it's an empty, there's 350 people there. And this building has done a lot more than 350 in the past. But they come here so often, I guess that's why, and they're seeing an inferior product at times. But yeah, it's hard. Look, I don't put this on Pillman because the crowd usually reacts very, very strongly to him. All right, Doc, anything else before we keep moving?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, we do get the next match, and I think you didn't like this, but I'll ask you. We get the Southern Boys versus the Nasty Boys. And before I
Why do you say I don't like it?
Well, you seem to be down on the Nasty Boys. You don't really like them. What is it then? What?
I didn't like last week's, and I thought it was a bad match. I thought this was a really, really good match.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed this match.
So what did you like about this before I share the notes?
To start, Tracy comes out as a house of fire. He's riling the crowd up, but once the match starts, he's taking it to those big, stinky, nasty boys. And the nasty boys are still motivated here, I guess you could say. So they're not like complete caricatures of themselves. And these four guys got after and worked hard. They worked their asses off. And then I'll tell you what I thought about the finish when we get there.
The Nasty Boys, the Southern Boys at first, they whipped the crowd into a tizzy, even as small as they are. Tracy knows how to work a crowd. I mean, I've seen it live in person, whether he's a babyface or heel. He's tremendous. He was tremendous in 2018, 19, and he was just as great back then. He got the flag out. He's whipping it. The people are, they're reacting. This thing, the Southern Boys, they get the Nasty Boys on the run to start things off. They can out-wrestle the Nasty Boys. The Nasty Boys are brawlers. That's how it should be. There's a damn commercial that interrupts the match like right when it starts, like a minute or two in. But then they come back, and the Southern Boys, they're still dominating. They're, the baby faces are out doing the heels because the heels cannot hang with them like it should be. Eventually, the Nasty Boys get control, and I would have loved to see this match in front of more than 350 people because this was a really solid old school babyface versus heel tag team match, and it would have come across 10 times better with not even 5,000 people, just 1,000 or 1,500 people in the building versus the only 350 they had, because these guys all worked their ass off, all four of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, again, old school Southern wrestling at its finest. It just there was a small crowd, so you didn't get to enjoy it. You didn't see the fans come up as much as they would or be as loud as they would have if there would have been more people in the building. But this was good. This was fun. It was exactly what it needed to be. The Southern Boys worked to their strengths, which is both of them know how to wrestle damn good. They do some high-flying maneuvers for its time with the drop kicks and the clotheslines off the top rope. And then the Nasty Boys, when they took control, they brawled and did the style that they work well with. And I think this match worked to the strengths of both parties, and that's what made it fantastic. And they gave him what I liked about this too was we had a 2-hour show this week. They gave him a lot of time because I think they went like close to almost 15 minutes, and that's always a positive. Any other thoughts before I wrap things up with the finish?
Go ahead. Go to the finish first then.
Okay, so let me get to it. Right about at it. So Armstrong, he's taking the heat, and Armstrong eventually, he's going to make the hot tag to Tracy. And it's looking like during the hot tag that the Southern Boys are going to win this thing. And man, Knobs took that turnbuckle great when Armstrong moved. I mean, he really hit it hard. Smothers comes in and he's doing the Tracy Smothers thing, rocking and rolling. But Smothers is hit in the back of the head by Sags. And Knobs then power slams Tracy, and Sags is going to hit the elbow off the top rope, and the Nasty Boys end up getting the win. I don't think the Southern Boys lose anything with the Nasty Boys winning here because it wasn't like a when you see on Raw a 5-minute match between two competitive people, these guys almost went 15 minutes, and technically the heels cheated, and that's how they won. They didn't hit Tracy in the back of the head with anything. It just was they caught him in the back of the head, and then Tracy gets power slammed, and then Sags hits the finisher on him. What were you about to say about the finish, Doc?
My thought about this was because of how they did it and because of how they worked and how they worked the whole match, everybody came out of this match better than they went into it. And that's the goal.
So, Rolex contender for the match or what?
We'll have to wait and see.
All right. Just thought I'd ask. We'll keep going, though.
But, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Don't get it wrong, man. The Nasty showed up.
They had their working boots on. It's
Yep.
a fair way to say it. JR and Bob Cottle throw to a clip of the Nasty Boys and Steiners signing a contract. Now, we're going to see the Nasties and the Steiners. This is at the UIC Pavilion, too. Tony Schiavone's out there, Gary Juster as well. And they're signing. And the Nasty Boys, during the contract signing, as what typically happens during a contract signing, somebody's either going through a table or somebody's getting, jumped, right? Is that fair to say, Doc?
Yeah.
Not always, but we see it a lot. At least there wasn't a cake on the table, because if there's a cake on the table, somebody's going through it. No cake, though. So the Nasty Boys attacked the Steiners at the end of the contract signing. And what I liked about this is they go to a promo after the contract signing, after the Nasty Boys attacked the Steiners. And it's kind of meat and potatoes, but Knob said, yeah, he did. You talking about with the belt?
Yes, he got cracked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll see it here. Like, I'll rerun it back again. Patrons can watch this. tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. He got hit in the side of the head pretty good with that U.S. tag title belt.
Somebody tell the Nasties everything is a work.
Yeah. They're doing their Kevin Von Erich imitation right here. Someone tell these guys to work. But what I was going to say was, so after the match, though, or not after the match, after the contract signing and them getting jumped and beat to shit, man, they're flinging his chair around viciously. Do they put him through the table? I can't remember. Yeah, they do.
That table shit wasn't gimmicked, and it wasn't. It was hot in 1990.
Yeah, it was.
Now we're like, it's a table. A table. They keep them under the ring. That wasn't cool. I hope the Steiners are okay.
This promo I'm about to play is meat and potatoes from the Nasty Boys, but Knobs makes a point that I think cannot be overlooked. So I'm going to play the quick, 20 seconds of it. Here it is.
Every dog has his day. You got what you deserve. We told you we'd do it. Now we proved ourselves. And look what you're going to get next. Hey, Steiners, nobody ever saw the Steiners laying like that before. We're meaner, tougher, and nastier. And come October 27th, it ain't for free, it's for all the marbles. And the Nasty Boys are going to be strolling down the street with your United States Tag Team titles because the Frankensteiner just got nasty side.
He's right. Like, nobody lays out the Steiners like that. And I'm not trying to tell you that was a great promo where they're talking people into the building, but he had a great point when he said that. What did you think about that or the one from the Steiners, which I think
the Steiners didn't really do much either, but I got to imagine.
You got to imagine, did you mute yourself? Somebody walk into the room. Something happened. While he's trying to figure out what happened, I'm just going to say, here. Oh, well, you went mute. So what were you saying? The Steiners, what?
This is one of those things where these four aren't going to be doing their best work inside the ring. I mean, outside the ring. Let's get this shit in the ring.
Yeah, and they're going to have a hell of a match at the Halloween Havoc. So there's that. It was very meat and potatoes from the Steiners. There really wasn't much to it. So after that, we get a series of commercials again. I think that might have been where they had that Burger King commercial, but I don't remember. Like I said, I didn't note it. The State Patrol are going to take on Reno Riggins, the man who turned down Ron Wright, Jesus, and Tim Parker. Doc, what you have from the State Patrol, who get a win here, as they should.
I like that because at some point you need to see them beat somebody so that they are somebody.
And the fact is, these guys are really good wrestlers. Like
You have a weird thing about them, so we have to factor that in.
They're really good. I don't know how else to say it. I know you don't agree always, but they're good. So the
I
State
don't
Patrol,
blow them like you do, but I like them all right.
wow.
Come on.
I'm telling you, they could have been tag champs. All they needed was a mouthpiece.
Come on.
They could have been. Let's get a mouthpiece for them.
Who are they? You're working now. I don't believe you.
U.S. tag champs, not the world. Come on.
Are they're going to upset the Steiners? Okay.
You're thinking of the State Patrol in this without getting a little bit of a push first.
Oh, okay.
Okay, look, hold on. You think these two guys can't get in there and hang with the Steiners? Dwayne Bruce trained people at the power plant. He is an accomplished wrestler.
Okay.
These guys are good wrestlers. I'm not going to sit there and tell you they're going to cut promos with people and make them,
Here's the thing. You've somehow made this about me. I said I'm glad they won. It's good for the show.
Fair enough. Okay, so after them, we get Terry Taylor versus a gentleman by the name of Gil Canatella. Man, you damn right about that. Do you want to explain old Gil Canatella, who looks like Dollar Tree Jerry Lawler? Or no?
No. I was trying to think of something to say, and I just don't have it.
And actually, I went too far. I'm really going to piss you off right here. Because after the State Patrol win, we go to this.
This was...
Let's play it.
I'd like to say hello to all you people out there on TBS. Here I am with Trucker Norman's Corner. I want all you people to remember something. Halloween's coming, and that means two things. Halloween Havoc, the greatest wrestling show of the year, is right around the corner, so get ready for all that action. And I want to tell all you kids something right here, like my cute little friend. You got to wear something with bright colors on, something that people can see at night. And all you people driving your cars around, remember, that's a safe time. You got to be safe. Safe, and we're happy, and take care of all these great little kids. I love you all. Bye-bye.
Jesus Christ.
So I know you're not a big fan of letting your children sit on wrestlers' laps, but what about Trucker Norm?
Hell no.
Okay. Safety Norm. He's real safe now. I mean, he's no longer criminally insane, that's for sure.
Bruh, this dude went from being strapped to a fucking board and Teddy Long trying to calm him down to being with Abdullah in Captain Mike's crew and being Ninja Turtle Norman and Ha Ha Funny to now Trucker Norman with kids sitting on his lap. That's a hell of a transformation inside of a little over a year.
None of it was good either.
None of it was good. Okay, let's keep moving. What do you think of this Gil Canatella character who's Dollar Tree Jerry Lawler?
He looks
with
like
this outfit?
he'd try to be the bully at the pizza shop getting a slice.
I could see that. Taylor wins with a flying forearm. Got nothing else from it, Doc. What about you?
Nothing.
It's not all that great. It's
Nope.
very, very short. After Taylor wins, Bob Caudle throws it to Doom, attacking Arn Anderson from Worldwide after Arn had won his match. And then we get a promo from Teddy Long, and Teddy said, I enjoyed seeing the Soul Brothers beat up Arn. It's like super quick, but did you have anything else from it? Terry Taylor talking about how he loved seeing his guys beat up Arn.
You said Terry Taylor.
Oh, shit. Thanks for correcting me. Teddy Long. You know, Jaworski, he cranks off whenever I make a mistake, so. But he complains about it.
He must have that shit on repeat then, on a loop.
Yeah, he's got like the turbo button, right?
Yep.
God, that guy's an idiot, man. He's so stupid. Oh.
All right. So,
okay.
No, I don't have anything from that. I'm ready to see Doom and the Horseman wrestle, though.
Bro, look at Teddy.
I don't want to say anything else.
No, Teddy kills me, man. He's so funny, dude. Look at him. He's got the do-rag, busting heads by Doom in the background.
Yeah.
This
looks like
good,
some
man.
kind of shirt you'd see at the swap meet, bruh.
Do you know that's what it is though? Like literally that's DOOM across the bottom that are supposed to be bricks.
Yeah. I'm aware of what's happening.
It's a really
interesting shirt or design.
This would be this is a really cool shirt. Like I don't. Ron Simmons obviously ain't listening to this show, but that dude needs to get this shirt up on Pro Wrestling Tees. Because that's a cool looking shirt. In honor of him and Butch Reed being doomed for the short time that they were.
Maybe we should put it up and just steal the money.
I'm not that kind of fella. Yeah, that would be right. Come on, bro. You can't do that. I mean, seriously. So we go from Teddy saying he enjoyed the Soul Brothers beating down on Arn. We're going to go now to Arn Anderson and Ric Flair, who, by God, we got a live promo in the building. Here it is.
Fans, you have seen at home the attack that Doom perpetrated last week on Arn Anderson. Obviously, Ric Flair was not here last week, but as far as Doom is concerned, the Nature Boy is back. Your man is back with the Arn standing side by side.
Well, JR, it seems to me they caught me with my pants down, which never happens. They're talking about they want to play a dirty game. We're the dirtiest players in the game. If you think you ever originated back jumping, you're out of your tree. 1 month ago, we had no interest in the world tag titles. They escalated it themselves. You see, Simmons and Reed wanted to have a gut check. They wanted to find out how good they are. Teddy Long's been patting them on the butt so long, telling them how big and strong and good they are. I think they've begun to believe it. But my friend, when you jumped on me, without the Nature round, all you did was fuel a fire. It's not going to be put out. Gentlemen, we're the Horsemen. We've been jumping on people since day one. And don't think this is going to go uncontested or unbridled. Tell them, Nate. Now we find out if you're ready to, number one, walk the aisle, and number two, are you prepared to go to school? Woo!
It's going to be quite something, ladies and gentlemen, for the World Tag Team Championship. But right now, let's go back up to the ring.
I mean, this is intriguing, and I thought Arn was really good. Arn, you want to play dirty? We're the dirtiest players in the game, and
We've
ain't
been
lying.
On people from day one, bruh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's kind of like, you know, Doom dishing out some of their own medicine. I mean, Doom is dishing out what the Horsemen have been great at for years. I mean, I'm ready for this. When and if it happens. Stay tuned. Doc, any thoughts from you?
No, Arn was really good there. Rick was short, but, you know.
And that's one of those ones. That's one of those ones. That's one of those ones from Arn where nobody is looking at that going, oh, that's a freaking phenomenal promo. But it was short and to the point. It made sense. Yeah. It ain't that hard, guys. We ain't building a rocket. Well, we go from that to... Oh, go ahead. You're about to say something?
No.
We go from that to Moondog Rex versus Keith Hart from Sevierville, Tennessee. Not Seaverville. Sevierville. Anyway, Doc, old Moondog here. Quick match.
Nope.
With Keith Hart. Nope. What? What do you say? Nope.
I don't have anything. Come on.
I mean, there's not much to talk about. He beats him. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Beats pretty quickly.
Okay.
Leave Randy Colley alone, man.
I didn't say anything.
All right. Glad you didn't.
Literally.
That's true. We then go to Alan Iron Eagle versus Chuck Coates. Hanson is still looking for Luger. He's at commentary. JR's got to be getting pissed and like, this dude won't leave me alone. JR reminds us again that Luger is doing community outreach like Doc claims to always do on his off days from work. Alan Iron Eagle is going to win this match. What are your thoughts, Doc, on anything else from this one?
Not a thing.
Alan Iron Eagle. Boy, that movie was terrible. All right. Gordon Soley, then, he's going to talk about his interview with the Black Scorpion. And he starts talking about just how strange it was and how weird the interview was and the strangeness of it all. Did you have anything from this?
No.
I don't feel like there's anything from it. It's just basically earlier in the show, we watched and listened to Gordon being blindfolded and the Scorpion talking
What's
to him.
wrong with the show? Like, look, I get that the State Patrol won, and that was good. But then it's like they leaned into it, and it's like there's a lot of filler here. A lot.
Yeah, I don't.
And it's easy to go, well, all those, I liked what the State Patrol did. So, okay, that's good. But now we're getting a whole bunch of people out there.
I don't know why Gordon needs a minute. Again, filling up time. I don't know why Gordon needs a minute to talk about the strangeness of what we saw with the Black Scorpion. I'm going to say, well, they were catering to the kids and yada, yada, yada. The same message I spout every week. But it doesn't make sense. So we'll keep moving. Arn Anderson takes on James Peterson. There's a picture-in-picture promo during this match. Why? And I feel like I got to play it because we never hear this dude cut promos. Is that safe to say, Doc? It's very quick.
Okay, hit it.
Here it is.
Sid Vicious will be wrestling Sting at Halloween Havoc exclusively on pay-per-view for the world title. But there's another guy that wants Sid Vicious, and he wants him on October the 14th in the Omni, and I'm talking about Bobby Eaton. You rarely ever hear Bobby Eaton make any comments, ladies and gentlemen, but he did have this to say about Sid Vicious.
You don't say this interview's for you, it's for nobody else except you. If you think that you got rid of me by beating me in the gauntlet, big deal, so you beat Bobby Eaton. So what? Don't get yourself, don't think you got a cherry. Let me say this to you. On October the 14th, Atlanta, son, if I get a chance, I'll knock your head right off your shoulders. I promise you that.
Bobby.
Bro, I could tell you the last time we heard from Bobby Eaton.
Studio?
It was during, No. It was during the dynamic dudes feud when Stan was getting on Corny about catering to the dudes and they were mad and Corny was like, Bobby, say something. Or he was like, what are you thinking? And Bobby was like, I don't know, Corny. I think Stan's got a point. I don't think you catering these guys too much. And that was it. Other than that, it was probably the studio. Like, I feel like 99.9% sure we ain't heard from Bobby Eaton but 5 times since we started doing the shows from 1985. Would you agree?
Safe bet.
Yes.
I don't understand.
What did you think about Bobby here?
I don't get it.
I don't need Bobby cutting a promo. It's not, and we love Bobby, but yeah, I got nothing from it. During an Arn match, I guess they're trying to draw people to the Omni on October 14th. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know. What do you have from Arn taking on this James Peterson fella?
Where's Tommy Rich? Let him cut that promo. Hey, somebody say something about scissors.
Who?
Tommy Rich.
Never heard of him.
Oh. Never mind.
Well,
Arn. I'm glad that
Go
in
ahead.
this match somebody remembered that we have a TV champion.
Boy, tell me about it.
And apparently we don't have the gauntlet this week, so I'm wondering what's going on there. Nice
I'm not
DDT from Arn. Is
I'm
Arn
not
blonde
complaining.
again?
He's looking a little blonde here. Yeah.
I mean, nothing like that one night, but yeah, you know.
Yeah, I got you. Any other thoughts on Arn getting a win here with
It's
a nice
meat and
DDT?
potatoes because that's what he is. Effective.
That's all it needed to be. I don't need to see him out there for 20 minutes against this guy. Well, Doc, after Arn, Missy is plugging the NWA main event for tomorrow
doing
like she
what?
always does. Plugging. What you think here, Doc?
Oof. I'd like
She
to
got a
lose
low
my-
cut on.
But she is showing the tops.
I got a few emails from different people saying, "Oh, Missy does podcasts." Evidently, she did one like I don't know, not long ago. But I don't. It's not that she doesn't do any. She just doesn't do a lot, and I can't see her coming on here with the way you
And
two act
subjecting
towards her.
herself to Jaworski level stupidity.
Yeah, exactly. Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate, like, you know, best Dave ever out there and some of the other guys who've tweeted at her and said, man, you need to go on BTT.
Keep doing it.
Yeah, keep doing it. I've said Missy can come on anytime. We would love to have Missy on this show. Preferably, it would have to happen with Harper. Wouldn't you agree, Doc?
Man, you talk about somebody clamming up real fast.
Do you think he would turn into the Harper who doesn't like to say much sometimes?
Yes.
Or do you think he would be...
Shy Harper would come out.
Or so you don't think he would be ring-a-ding-ding, come here, girl?
No. He would not be in character. He would be Chris Harper with shag carpet in his bedroom and crusty socks from Missy poster.
Oh, man. Oh, that's great. Well, on that note, after Missy, JR and Bob Caudle are trying to close the show when Stan Hansen interrupts things, and he's still looking for Luger, and JR continues to mention how Luger is, community outreach, and Hansen says, I showed up and you didn't, Luger. Now, JR does claim at the end that Luger just pulled up, and they'll be here once they go off air to let us know what happened, so stay tuned. Maybe that's kind of like the hook for next week. Not maybe, it's the hook for next week. So we'll have to see what happens. And that's how they go off air. But Stan Hansen still looking for Luger and pissed off. So before we hand out the Rolex and give out the ratings and all that stuff, I want to remind you, if you always shop on Amazon, please use the BTT Amazon Associates link at tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. It is a great way to support this show without spending anything extra. If you're already shopping on Amazon, the show gets a little bit of support in return when you use that link. Again, it's tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. Take that link, put it in a browser for your wife, your girlfriend, your side piece, whatever you have in your life, and tell them to utilize Amazon every time they shop, because we all know these women. I know mine does it all the time. Just gets anything and everything off Amazon. I literally have to cut her off from buying stuff sometimes because it gets out of control. So please use the Amazon Associates link. It's a great way to support the show. You're already shopping there. The show gets some support in return. tinyurl.com/BTT Amazon. Doc, what do you want to rate it? Hand out the Rolex first. Which one?
Oh, we usually rate it, and this was too long, and it had too much filler, but there was a couple of good moments in there, and I really enjoyed the couple of matches. I don't feel like I can completely dog it, because it was just meh more than actively terrible. C+.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go with a B-. It was really hard to give it something less than that because, this wasn't an Arn and Flair promo from the studio, but we did get a little Arn and Flair at least. We got Arn wrestling. That's a plus. Boy, the bar has been lowered. State Patrol won. Nasty Boys. Not Knobs saying we laid out the Steiners, and then we saw the clips there, and then we got Southern Boys and Nasty Boys was really, really good. So I'll go a B-, and it wasn't bad. It got a B- because it was almost two hours full, and that's a little hard to do when it's you and I, and our busy lives with kids and all this stuff. So B-, and that's that. Let's hand out the Rolexes. Before we do so, as a quick reminder, no, I'm not going to plug 20 minutes worth of commercials, but I'm going to tell you to please consider becoming a patron at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT, because this show at this point is a little bit more than an hour and 30 minutes long as we're into this, and we haven't spent any time plugging commercials. So it's been all fresh content for all of our wonderful listeners out there that we appreciate. Again, tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Become a patron. You get 300 plus Patreon exclusive shows. Plus, you get the video versions of these shows that we do on Saturday night here, and along with World Class. Lance and I do a video version for that as well, along with the World Class show. The ECW shows are all on Patreon. The NWA Power with Sparks and a little fella half pint who's still drinking his sorrows away after his Titans blew it. All that good stuff. Again, tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Become a patron and support the best ad-free podcast there is. Doc, who are you giving your Rolex to?
Well, just to mention the little fella, I feel like we might need to take a year off of picking NFL team games.
Boy. He went full homer, didn't he?
Yeah.
The little fella. Well, no, we're going to pull him back into the booth next year. He's going to pick some more stuff. We're going to make him look crazy again.
Do we have a ladder for him, a step stool for him to stand on to get into the booth?
Fucking ladder. You need that little sucker needs a scaffold. What are you talking about? Dude's 4'2".
All right,
dude,
so I'm going to give my...
Hey, real quick. Want me to tell you a story about the little fella?
Okay.
So he starts some beef with some goof on Twitter. I'm not going to say who. And I catch wind of it, and I'm like, half pint, why are you punching down at this freaking goofball? If you're going to be affiliated with BTT, we love you and all. Punch up, not down at goofballs with 10 followers.
It's important in life to know where you are so that you can punch in the appropriate direction.
That's right. So I sent him an email. I'm like, dude, I'm not mad at you or nothing, but bruh, don't concern yourself with goofballs like that. And this person that was tweeting him was a goofball.
You don't see the JV team getting in their little cars with their first cars and driving over to the junior high to pick on the 8th grade team. Act like you've been there before, even if you haven't.
Michael Jordan ain't going to the high school down the street from where the Chicago Bulls practice facility dunking on folks.
Right.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna give
I'm busting half pints balls. I wanted to say that. He's a good guy. But go ahead.
For the third time, I'm going to give my Rolex to the Nasty Boys, who worked hard, really delivered in that contract signing with the Steiners, really made it seem real and believable and violent. And they really put on their working boots. And they don't always do that, but when they do, that was a good match. And so I'm going to go with the Nasties here this week.
I got to do the same thing, Nasty Boys all the way, man. They were good. Great match with the Southern Boys. And I don't say that loosely. There was a really, really good match, especially when you consider it's just Saturday night on TBS. It's not like a pay-per-view. Really good match. Nasty Boys then, lay out the Steiners. Who does that? Nobody, pretty much, at this point. And then decent promo.
There you go.
But decent. So before we get out of here and wrap things up this week, I do want to mention, check out Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Murata and Michael Quinn. The northern version of BTT, slightly classier, definitely more professional, but still fun nonetheless. They support us, so please support them. And they've been supporting us for years with plugs and whatnot. And like I said, they're good guys. So I always appreciate their plugs and everything they do to help BTT out. So thank you. And then check out the Bottom Line Cast with Mike Prue and JV. They do a show on the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they also do the ECW show on our Patreon feed. So appreciate you, Mike Prue and JV, for all you do for BTT. And then check out what else? The NWA Power Show, but that's just for patron members out there with Sparks and the little fella, half pint. Sparks, what's that? Was he a Transformer? It's nice, Harper.
Come on.
I know. And then, Doc, you got anything before I got to pull up the Harper's, video shout out information because I can never remember that long ass.
Let me tell you something.
PayPal that he's got.
You're standing between me and my dinner meal. My supper.
Okay.
We're in the South. I can say it. Supper.
Supper. Right.
Supper.
That's true.
Got to have your supper.
Well, let me get this out so you can go eat your supper. Check out Hardbody Harper's video shout out services. Go to, first, if you want a video shout out from Harper Life and Relationship Advice, go to chrisharper16wildcat@gmail.com. Email him. Tell him what you want in the video. Again, it's chrisharper16wildcat@gmail.com. And then after you do that, most importantly, PayPal him to cc30388cc@yahoo.com. You can PayPal him $20 if you didn't hear that. Rewind, listen to it again. And if you want props, no, he's not sticking a dildo up his rear end. So when I say props, like one guy had him do a Impossible Whopper review and eat the Whopper. So if you need props, make sure you send him more money to cover for the props. The $20 doesn't cover props. Yeah, he's not shoving a dildo up his butt like somebody asked him to do.
Come on.
cc30388cc@yahoo.com.
That is no way to treat a talented member of the industry.
Man, or you telling me? Don't tell me. I already know this. And on that note, I think it is time to get out of here, Doc. Unless you have anything else, can we? If you don't, we can ride off into the sunset, pal.
Book it, bitch.